Jaravellers! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jara and I make vlogs about my life here in Japan in general. So today I would like to share with you some tips to help you prepare and ace that JET program interview. But before we start, if you haven't heard already, the Embassy of Japan in the Philippines released an announcement regarding the second stage of screening of applicants. So due to the spread of the coronavirus, the committee decided not to do face-to-face interview, and so it will be an online interview instead. So if you pass the preliminary stage of screening, you will receive an email on how to proceed with the second stage. But I think what I will share with you today will still be helpful to you aspiring Filipino Jets. So let's get started. So let's talk about your preparation before the interview. So this is an online interview, right? So the first step would be to choose a spot or place in your house that is free from distraction and has good lighting. So you don't want people or your pets walking back and forth behind you. So make sure that it is free from distraction. And when I was an online tutor, I positioned myself in front of the window because it has good lighting. So for me, natural lighting is the best lighting. Work with what you have, guys. So you don't have to buy a ring light, but if you feel like you need to, there are less expensive ones in Shopee or Lazada. The next step would be test your devices. So I don't know what platform the JET committee will ask you to use. It might be Zoom, it might be Skype, but whatever application that is, make sure to do a test run on your devices. So make sure that it is compatible to all your devices. Again, when I was an online tutor, I will make sure that I will be in front of the computer 30 minutes before my lesson. So I will run command prompt, I will do a speed test. So this will let me know if my internet connection is working properly and if all my devices are good to go. So yes, do a test run. So speaking of internet connection, another thing which I have are backups. So I have 2 pocket Wi-Fis just in case my home Wi-Fi is not working properly. So pray hard that your internet connection is good on the day of your interview. Lastly, before your online interview, I would suggest asking a friend to do a test call. So call the person and make sure that there are no background noises, there are no distractions, if your video is clear, if your audio is clear. So knowing all of these will help you eliminate the added stress before the day of your interview. So now let's talk about how to ace that JET program interview. So again, I have no idea about the details of the online interview, but I think standard rules would still apply. Don't be late and dress to impress. Don't slack off on your appearance. Office culture in Japan would, require most of their employees to wear a suit to work. But I think for your interview, you don't have to unless they specifically tell you in the email to wear a suit. So just make sure that you are wearing the appropriate attire for your interview. Okay, so next tip, this goes without saying, but speak clearly. Yes, the program wants people who can speak English fluently, but they also want applicants that can speak in a manner that can be understood by kids or beginner level students. So sometimes when we're nervous, we tend to speak fast. So if that happens to you, take a deep breath and then count 1 to 5. Okay, so I remember during my interview, they gave me the first question, but I was so nervous I couldn't get the words out. So I told them, I'm sorry, 1 moment please. And then I took a deep breath in front of them and then I answered the question. After a few minutes, I was able to calm myself and then the interview just seemed like a conversation. By the time that I was asked to do my demo, I wasn't nervous anymore. So yeah, calm yourself. Remember that you practiced for this interview. Believe in yourself. The next tip is be specific with your answers. So let's say you were asked about your travel experience. Oh, you went to Hong Kong. What did you do in Hong Kong? So don't just tell them, I went on a vacation. Tell them about your trip. So it will show your ability to answer questions in a cohesive manner and also your spontaneity. Another example question is, how would you make your lessons fun? A possible answer is, oh, I would play games. But what kind of games? So be thoughtful on how you would answer the questions, elaborate a little bit, and be specific with your answers. My next tip is be authentic. So the committee will not only assess your speaking ability and your teaching skill, but they will also assess your overall cultural fit for the program. So if you've never studied Japanese history, culture, or the language, it's totally fine. So don't do anything that feels strange and out of character for you during the interview, like bowing, just because it's part of Japanese culture. So I remember during my interview, after the interview, I went over to the panel and shook their hands. So since this is an online interview, just express that you are thankful for the opportunity. I don't know where I got this idea. Maybe I also heard it here on YouTube. So if you get invited for the interview, it means that they already like you on paper. So they just want to see that you are really what you say you are in real life. So be yourself and enjoy the process. Lastly, prepare and practice. So according to an article on Tofogo, preparation can reduce fear by 75%. So if you practice, you can be confident that you'll be able to answer those interview questions. If you make your own practice questions, try to predict the next question. So in that way, you can make sure that you can answer any questions thrown at you, however it is worded. But also be careful about over preparation because you don't want to sound too rehearsed during your interview. So that's it. I hope this video is helpful to you. And I would also like to take this opportunity to invite you guys to join my Discord server. So in just a few days, I will be hosting a community hangout where I will talk about my JET program interview experience. So if you're not part of the Discord server yet, I will link it down in the description box below. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it to your friends. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. So stay safe and healthy. Bye!